Hey, Tubies, this is Psychic Bob and the whole crew. And look, we're back. I know you guys said how much you missed us last week. Psychic Bob was on his deathbed, but I have resurrected. Woo, girl. It is so good to be with you guys. And we got the whole crew here. I want them all to say hello. Lady Angela, jump on in there.
Hi, everybody. Super happy to see you here and super excited for tonight's show.
Or Tony.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Hope you are too. Should be a good show tonight.
And Lady Carol.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be back.
Yay. The whole crew's all gathered. The magic is a brewing. I can feel, can y'all feel the power growing? I tell you, you know. Well, I tell you, our viewership is climbing over there. I got to check our, see, get my chat going here. Lady Angela, tell us what you've been up to.
Oh, I went to the fair with my son the other night, and we saw a demolition derby. That is so fun. They got these beat-up cars that look like they literally pulled them out of a junkyard and made them run. Some of them had pipes that come out of the hoods, and when they would crash into the cars, fire would come out of the pipes. It was amazing. It was so cool. I never seen nothing like it. I have seen monster trucks before, a show, and those were pretty cool, but this one was a little bit more action-packed. The monster trucks were like inside an indoor arena, so you couldn't really see the smash and crash. It was more like just driving around. This was so cool. Me and my son really enjoyed it.
How much? I love it. I've been to one of those sort of events since I was a kid. I think that's great.
We got a lot of names in our chat tonight, Bob. Some new ones.
It looks like we got some.
We got Creep Show. We got Laura M. We got Mama Bird. We got Gab. We got Veronica San Miguel. We got Moody Licious. I like that name. We got Steve Taylor. Lady Witch is with us tonight. Let's see who else. We got Raven Fisher here. We got Lady Witch. Mark Laws is here. Douglas Barber's here. Hi, everybody. We're so glad you're here with us.
We are so glad. Welcome to the Witching Hour. You know, tonight we're going to continue. You guys have said how much you've enjoyed having us answer your questions. You got a panel here of witches with many years of experience. Most of us have been in the craft over 10 years. And so we hope we can help you. A lot of you I know are starting new on the path of Wicca, and we want to help you on your journey, you know. And so we welcome you today. Thanks for being here with us, you know. Lady Carol has some wonderful news for us. I think she just moved to a new house. Did you, Lady Carol?
Yes, I did. And I'm actually in my room right now, enjoying it right now. We're still unpacking, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been an actual adventure for me because I had stuff in storage I hadn't seen in 6 years. And I'm like, oh, that's where it went. So it's kind of an exploration.
That's
it's
cool.
It's like a move to help you discover those treasures, is there not?
Oh, yeah. A lot of lost treasures, too.
I believe it. Yay. Well, you know, guys, that you can send your questions on in. Anything you want to ask about Wicca, witchcraft, magic, rituals, anything like that. You know, we'd love to answer to you tonight. Lord Tony, tell us about your world. What have you been doing lately?
Mostly been working, but this whole weekend I've been doing car stuff. I've been rotating the tires on my other car, and it's not a fun job when you only got one functional jack.
That'd be horrible.
Come on.
So like jack one side up and prop it up with one broken jack and switch to the other side of the car so you can jack that side up and remove
I
the
would have
tires.
just went and got another jack.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice and hot outside for that, so I stopped after doing that, and then today I've been detailing the cars, so I'm still not done with that. I got to go back outside when the show's over. But that's all my weekend, and growing my peppers, and
I saw the peppers. They look good.
Was it?
You got your garden going?
Oh yeah, I've got some very angry-looking ghost peppers, and
they look yummy.
Going. They look very mad and hot.
They just look spicy. Spicy's all right. Hey, we got our first question, Bob. Crystal asks, they say, hi, everyone. I want to know if I could naturally be a witch, because I've always found myself setting good intentions and visions. I imagine vines wrapping around muscles to heal them.
Isn't that, well, first of all, that's a beautiful visual image. I love that. And yes, witchcraft is different than traditional religions. And that's why probably I want each person here to talk about this. But I think that, I can speak for myself and say, I was drawn to the craft because it does not have dogma and doctrine and control. You create your craft, and it's about you interacting with the gods, the ancient ones, and discovering that relationship and bringing that power into your life. And that's what magic is, And so can you be a natural witch? Of course you can. And I think witchcraft is actually the most natural of all the religions. You guys want to jump in?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And, you find a lot of people that are new to the craft have been pretty witchy for a long time. They've done things their way. They've thought outside the box. They have little tricks and things that they do to heal or to bless their home. And then when they find the craft and start learning about the craft, they realize, wow, I'm a Wiccan, or wow, I'm pretty witchy. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony and Carol?
Well, what I was going to say was I think we're all, naturally born witches. I mean, it's just what we do with the craft. A lot of people are afraid of it, so they don't use their skills. I think we all have that ability to use our skills in a positive way.
I don't have much else to add. Pretty much, yeah, I think everyone can be one. Everyone has the power to do it. Everyone, if you pray, if you do this, you do that. Words and thoughts are their energy, and they do what they're supposed to do. And even if you don't think you're doing it, you're doing it.
I agree. I saw another question, Tony. That was wonderful. Thank you. Somebody else has a question. What is the difference between Wicca and witchcraft? I didn't get your name. Good question. Wicca is a formalized version of witchcraft. Witchcraft is a practice of magic that can be spiritual or religious or non-religious. Wicca tends to fall under a form of religion in that there are kind of some standard beliefs, though again, we don't speak about doctrine and thou must believe this. But in Wicca, there's generally a concept of a god and a goddess. There's a concept of calling the quarters as part of the ritual. There's a concept of the Wiccan reed, which is, and it harm none, do as you will. So Wicca is a form of witchcraft. All Wiccans are witches, but not all witches are Wiccans. And I think that the Wiccan creed is a defining factor in Wicca. And our order, the Order of the Purple Cord, which is a religious order I started a few years ago with Lady Angela, Lord Tony, is a religious order based on Wicca, which is we honor the Wiccan reed. You guys want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think you pretty well nailed it. Witchcraft is a bit more ritualistic, kind of like how alchemy is. There's a lot more form to it, where Wicca is a lot more versatile. Carol, Tony?
I think a lot of people get confused with the read when they first start out because they don't understand the principle of harm none, do as you will. What it basically means is you can practice your magic, you can practice, healing, you can practice Reiki, all these things, as long as it doesn't harm or interfere with another person's will. You can't force yourself on someone and say, oh, I'm going to, heal you, or I'm going to do this or that. You have to have permission. A lot of people, when they first start out, they think, oh, this is great, I can do this. And they don't get the other person's permission to do, whatever it is, whether it's casting a spell or, even healing. you must get the other person's permission, because that's kind of like a violation of their space, you know, and their trust. So for any new person out there, if you are, you know, trying to like help someone, even if it's, you know, massaging a person, get their permission. Because there's been instances where people go out and go, oh, you know, I'm a healer because I can do this. And they grab someone and the other person's totally freaked out going, what are you doing? You know, you're actually violating their space. So I want to throw that in, because I know a lot of people that don't do it intentionally, but they get so excited and wrapped up in what they're doing, they forget to have that permission.
That's true. Just like with tarot card readings, you know, a lot of times people will do a tarot card reading on somebody else without that person's knowledge. That's violating the read too. You have to have somebody's permission to do any kind of spiritual work for or to them. You know, otherwise it's against the read, you know, and unexpected things can happen when you do that. And I agree with you that they get excited and jump right in and just go for it. Where we have to be mindful of others and of their free will and of their boundaries. Those were some really good points there.
I think so.
Tinker, I don't want to say the second part of their name because it's a shamey word, but Tinker says, P.S. You don't have to be Wiccan to abide by the Wiccan Read. That's a very good point.
That's true. Wiccan Read is really a good principle for any person of spirituality, I'd say. You know,
yep. Creep Show asks, are male witches called wizards?
Well, not really, no. Male witches are called witches. In the
I
witch...
thought we were called hot.
What's that?
I thought we were called hot.
Oh, there's that too.
That's a really good question, because there's a big debate in the community about that. But male witches have always been called witches. Wizards tend to be of a more ceremonial magic position. Ceremonial magic is a combination of Judeo-Christian magic, which is more Christian oriented. And so there are people who practice formal ceremonial magics that use the term wizard, but wizard is generally not used in the craft, despite what you see on Harry Potter.
Right. Now you could be called Lord, you know, Lord so-and-so at times, you know, which kind of shows your level within the craft, or lady, you know, it shows your degree and level in the craft. So that's another thing, you know, you might be referred to as.
Yeah, the titles of Lord and Lady are generally reserved for people that are high priests, that have had third degrees or are given a special role, like within our order, because the officers of our order hold the titles Lord and Lady, which is traditional within a Wiccan coven tradition setting.
Oh, here's a great one. Kat says, is Wicca similar to praying to what's called the universe to get money or any kind of abundance you desire? And if so, what is a simple ceremony I can do? That's a good question.
I'm going to let you handle that, Lady Angel. You're an expert at money magic.
Yeah. Well, I think what they're saying is Wicca the same as petitioning the universe or petitioning the powers that be? Absolutely. You know, as a Wiccan, I have many deities that I speak with, as well as the all or the universal power, you know, the powers that be. Absolutely. Wicca has a little bit more to it, where we honor the elements. We honor certain times of the year. We celebrate Sabbats, which are kind of like our holidays. There's a little bit more to it, but absolutely, whatever works for you to make things manifest in your life. Absolutely. That's in essence very, very much so like Wicca. Wicca just is a little bit more defined. We have elements that we incorporate, ways to use the natural energies of the universe to bring about change in our life. And that's the wonderful thing with magic or Wicca, is that you are able to then control what happens in your life more. you know, and influence outcomes, manifest change for your petitions or your questions or your requests of the universe or the powers that be. So absolutely, that's a good question.
I think so too. I wanted to echo on that. You know, one of the things that I found so helpful when I joined the craft was that I didn't have to just sit back and be a victim. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, and I'm not knocking on traditional churches, but some traditional, and I'm not saying every, some traditional churches will just say, well, you know, if something's not going your way, it's just God's will, and you just got to accept that. And the craft says, no, let's revisit that. Maybe there's something that can be done.
Yep.
Maybe there's something you can do. And it encourages you to be actively connected to your outcomes.
Absolutely. Dragon Rising 11 has a great question. What is the relationship between Wicca and shamanistic practices?
Carol, I'm going to throw that one at you.
Oh, God. Well, from what I know, since I'm not a shaman, most of the shaman magic is a kind of traditional magic. There's a lot of meditation. There's a lot of internal exploration with shaman magic, as well as healing. Now, most shamans are, well, I don't want to put anybody down, but they're the first doctors. You know, they deal with a lot of ritualistic magic, a lot of herbs, as well as spiritual magic. Now, a lot of people don't believe that, you know, shamans can heal a person. They don't believe that a shaman can, you know, get rid of demons and all these things. It's an energy magic. And I know Lord Tony would agree because he deals with angels, you know, all day long. We, as, you know, healers, or, you know, I want to say metaphysical beings, we use the power of the all, you know, and we become these vessels that they work through. A shaman is just like that. They are a vessel. They, you know, say their rituals, they bring spirit within them, and they help that person. Now, as far as traditional Wicca goes, we practice in a similar manner, except we're not as traditional as a shaman would be. A shaman has to literally take, you know, days and months to prepare themselves sometimes, depending on what they're doing. We, on the other hand, are just kind of open a little bit more, where we're not based on tradition, as far as, you know, sitting down for 3 weeks at a time and, you know, becoming almost like a Buddhist, where we just empty ourselves all together and do what we have to do.
I Googled shamanic, what a shaman is, and it says it's an animalistic religion of certain peoples in which meditation between the visible and spirit world is affected by the person. A similar religion or set of beliefs, especially among Native American type people. So yeah, that goes right along with what Carol's saying. I always thought it was more like spirit walkers, you know, that they're able to communicate with spirit world and animals. And sometimes historically they would perform rituals to ensure a good hunt, you know, and things like that. So absolutely, Carol's absolutely spot on.
And I think that Wicca definitely comes out of a shamanic tradition in the sense of the British Isles shamans, you know. Like, I think that Merlin the wizard, or, you know, was actually very shamanic. And sometimes you'll see him actually in statues or pictures depicted wearing like a fur coat or like a feathered cloak, which is very shamanic.
Or a mask, a certain like headdress. Mark Laza says, going off of what Lady Carol just said, what are some ways that you could practice and use healing within your craft as a witch?
A lot of the ways that you can use healing within your practice is ground yourself. Always ground yourself. Allow yourself to open up. Lord Tony's more familiar with working on a daily basis with spirit. So is Lord Bob. But when you're dealing with the healing, you're actually, I guess you would say, exerting your energy a lot more. I think Lord Tony does that better than any of us here. Yeah. You're becoming an extension of the healing.
Tony, can you give us info on that too?
No.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, what I'll just tell you pretty much what I do is I'll sit there, I'll start meditating, and I'll start grounding myself. I'll visualize, since I'm working with the angels, I actually visualize the light coming down through my head first and filling up my chest with every breath that I take. And when I filled myself up with the light, I allow that light to sink down through my feet, down to the core of the earth. And then I let it come back up, fill my chest. I'll proceed to open my chest up and allow more energy to flow out along with what's coming out through my hands to the recipient of what I'm going to do. If I want to add the healing energies to a spell, instead of it going to a person, I'll send it straight out into the universe.
Absolutely. That was a great answer, both of you two. What's that, Bob?
No, I was just agreeing. I thought they're both wonderful answers.
Yeah, they nailed it.
I can personally testify to Tony's quality healing work. While I've been recovering from this tick illness, he has sent me amazing power. And Tony, I'm going to tell this story because I think people need to hear it.
Okay.
As many of you know, I've been dealing with neurotoxin poisoning, which is a side effect of tick bites. And I was literally deathly ill. Like, I should have gone to the hospital. I should have, but I was being a stubborn SOB. And Tony, unbeknownst to me, well, I actually had asked him to heal me, but I didn't know when he was going to heal me. And I didn't know he was working on me one night. And I went to bed about midnight, and I woke up at 3:25 a.m. to notice there was a text on my phone, and it was Lord Tony's text, and he said, "Bob, I finished my healing work on you around 2:25 a.m. Well, I woke up at 3:25 a.m., 1 hour afterwards, and I literally feel as if a veil had been lifted off my body. I felt so refreshed. I felt alive. I felt unsick. It was amazing. And I really credit that to Tony's healing. I even showed my mom the text. And she's like, I can visibly see the difference in you. Physically, your color's better. Your face looks better. And she says, wow, that's amazing. She said, I said, yeah. I said, Lord Tony did the healing work. So I encourage you guys, you should invest in a session with Lord Tony because he does know what he's doing. And I thank you very much, Lord Tony.
You're very welcome.
Wargamer would like, Bob, can you give him any advice? He's new to Draconian Wicca, which is a dragon-based Wicca, and would like some advice about the dragon realm.
Yeah. Well, contrary to a lot of popular belief, dragons are real. Some people say, oh, they're just mythology. They're mythology in the sense of the earth history being mythological, meaning they're no longer amongst us. But dragons exist on the spiritual realm. There is a realm called the etheric realm. It is the realm closest to the physical realm. It's one, if you want to say it, one step removed from the physical realm. It's the first layer of the spiritual realms. And on that realm exist all of these creatures. Dragons live there, unicorns live there, a lot of fae go there. And so the creatures of old that we've heard about, dragons and giants and all of these things, they do really exist. And this accounts for why people are able to see them. People said, you know, like I had somebody tell me once, they said, Bob, I was walking through the woods and a unicorn walked right through the woods and then disappeared. And they said, did that really happen? I said, of course it did. I said, you were right on the edge of that etheric realm. There was an open portal and you saw the reality of that other realm. And so, you know, when you're working with dragons, one of the things I would encourage you to do is, first of all, and Lord Tony knows about this, treat them with a lot of respect. Dragons are powerful. If you had a dragon in the third dimension, would you just treat it casually? No, you'd be very reverent. You would establish a rapport, because these creatures also need to feel secure in their dealings with us. So if you're going to do, you know, magic and ritual invoking that, make sure that you have a rapport with your dragon god. And I would encourage you to make offerings to them to show your appreciation, because these beings are highly intelligent and highly emotional too. Would you like somebody to call on you and be using you all the time? You never say thank you. No, so you don't want to do that. So work with them with reverence and respect, and you shouldn't have any problem.
I just want to offer one thing. Probably the best advice I could give you about dragons is don't piss them off. They find you very crunchy and tasty with barbecue sauce.
Don't treat them like pets either.
Oh, no.
Right, absolutely. I know Tony and I both, and maybe Carol and you, Bob, but we have a lot of spirit guides that are dragons. I have 3 in particular. I have one that's a gold dragon, and she is huge. She's very loving and mothering and empowering. And then I have 2 guardian dragons. One is black and one is bronze. And they aren't as big as the gold one. The gold one is huge, like as big as my home, spirit in a spiritual sense. The other 2, they're kind of like the Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, but Game of Thrones size, you know, like big regular dragon size in spirit. But they circle and soar, and they're like my protectors, always on the lookout, looking for danger or whatever it is, and just they keep me aware of it. And different ones, they visit me in different ways, you know. I could actually see the black and the bronze one at times, where the gold one, she manifests more in my mind or in my dreams, or just as a sense of her comfort there, you know. I remember whenever she first came to me, and I remember I woke up and I felt like she was laying on the ground and I was curled up like on her tail, using her tail as a pillow, and just kind of like, you know how your puppy would curl up by your belly, you know, and it was like that, but she was like holding me in that way. And this was before I even moved to Colorado. And it was very empowering, and a sense of just love and protection and comfort and just reassurance that I was making the right choices, I was doing the right thing, and that I wasn't alone, you know. And it's just a very powerful sense. But absolutely, I show ultimate respect to them, and I give them offerings of incense, and I buy charms and things for them. And dragons are very awesome.
Absolutely. I have a beautiful dragon statue that Lady Angela gave me. And it's got beautiful, I don't have it here right now, but he's a dragon emerging from the egg. And he's like a water dragon. He's blue and he has a sapphire gem with him. I just love it. I definitely know the dragons are real.
Mm-hmm. Followers of the old ways, Sage the Green asks, will any of us do any Sabbath videos? And I'd like to say Bob has a lot of Sabbath videos. And also, if you follow our Witching Hour videos, there's a few times that we've also done group Sabbath rituals. And there will be more to come like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that, you know, maybe for Mayball, we can do a ritual here live. and have you all participate. So
that'd be awesome.
This time it's not creeping up on us. We have a little time here, and I think we can work towards organizing something. So, try to be here for Mabel.
What does Tony have?
Join us.
Tony has Oreo, who is now a little miffed at me for picking him up and putting him on video.
Oh, I see that. He's kind of PO'd.
He keeps biting my my legs as he's walking by.
Oh.
Oreo.
Carol, you say something? Did you have something to say?
Okay, get down.
Now we get cat butt.
Yeah, that's right. I want to show that. She has butt.
Oh, jeez.
No, he actually has a figure on his butt that looks like, I'm gonna say it, but it looks like a woman, like the restroom symbol on the women's restrooms.
Oh.
Like that has like the head and the arms and like a dress and two legs.
Aww.
He has that on his butt, and I'm thinking that has got to be the worst karma ever.
Gee whiz.
Hey, there's something going on with the cats because my guy just decided to join me as well.
Oh. How
We had
precious.
rain here for the past couple of days, and he's upset because he can't go outside. So he's been under me for 2 days going, I want to go outside. Say hi.
Tinker asks us, what is cat butt symbolic of? That's funny.
That's cute.
Oh, here we go. Katz asks, I am desperate for money and live in a haunted house due to an ex-husband committing suicide here. And I want to know if demons will attack me if I try to use Wicca for money abundance like a lottery.
No. We have all power and control over the spirits. Now, you may be new to Wicca, and you might think, I don't have to do this, or am I in danger? But there are a lot of simple things you can start with, first of all, to protect yourself. I want you to get salt, and I want you to sprinkle it throughout your house. Just a little bit. You can vacuum it up later if you want, but just a little salt. This is going to set a boundary of purification instantly, and it will take immediately. Even if your house is haunted, that salt will allow it pushes back the evil spirits. And so you must never give in to fear, because a lot of the earthbound souls feed from that. Remember, your home is your sanctuary. I would encourage you also to bring in some sacred symbols such as pentacles. Like, for example, behind me here I have a tapestry of pentacles. This is very protective. Or you could even make your own pentacle. I have a video on how to make your own woodland pentacle using sticks and put it up in your house. If you want, Lady Angela has a number of charms and herbal remedies and protections over at her shop. Lady Angela, maybe you want to talk real quick about some of your...
Yeah, absolutely. I have a whole slew of different rituals and ideas and spells and things for cleansing, for protection, for... I also recommend for you as well, in addition to the salt, I'd recommend you run through your house, you open every single window. You get yourself a hunk of sage, a smudge stick, and start at the top of your, if it's 2-story, start at the top floor and just go room to room, every corner, every wall with that smudging, with that smoke, and cleanse the area. Leave the windows open so that any bad energy has a place to flee. But definitely do that, and come at Wicca from a positive way, not a fearful way, because Wicca, the gods love you, you know, and the universe loves you. And if you come from a place of fear, it's just not as effective. It's a place of love, you know, and overcoming those fears. And we're, like Bob, he always says, you know, we're physical beings. Don't be afraid to ask the gods for physical blessings, such as money, such as, you know, physical things. If you need a new car, don't feel bad to to petition the universe to get a new car or a new job or enough money to pay your rent next month. You know, these things are all okay. The gods love us. And I think it comes from, I hate to pick on the Christians, but I know that the Christian church usually teaches you from a place of fear God. That's something I love with Wicca, because I respect our gods, but I know that they love me and I walk with them every day, you know, so.
Absolutely.
And also go over to my website, check out the protection and cleansing spells and rituals and recipes as well at rarewiccaspells.com. And you could use coupon code Spirit Channel to save some money.
And I want to show her, this is a pendant that I'm wearing today. This is known as the Spiral Goddess. And what this represents is that the universe was generated in love. That the Great Mother, if you notice at her womb, there's a spiral that comes out from her. And it means that from her is all life and all love manifested. And so we should approach the divine from a place of love and know that the Great Mother is our protector. Mm-hmm. Whenever I wear this pendant, it reminds me that I'm safe in the Mother's arms and I have no fear. And so let go of fear and let love reign. And you'll discover peace and power.
And Bob, I think you might have even got that charm over at my website. So yeah, there's a lot of talismans.
Yeah, you can buy these at Lady Angela's website at rarewiccaspells.com. Thank you, Lady Angela.
Yeah, and we got the link below for you guys. Tinker gives all four of us a wonderful compliment. They say they love how simple we make this for them to understand. And it's really our pleasure.
It is our pleasure. I think the craft, the reason why all of us, we do this show is because the craft has touched our lives. It has brought us joy. It's brought us transformation in our journeys. And we want people to have that. You know, Wicca has a tradition. We don't, proselytize. We don't sit here and say, you have to join Wicca, you have to be Wiccan. We're not about that. We just want to share with you our journey. And if it speaks to you, by all means, join it. You know, if it does, that's okay too. I mean, just learn what you can. You know.
Yeah.
Or discover your own journey. I mean, sometimes, you know, that's basically what happened with me. You know, I grew up in a Baptist Catholic household. My mother was Catholic, my dad was Baptist, and I was always the curve. You know, I just kind of didn't fit in all the way. But, you know, as I got older, I started to learn, you know, little things here and there. And when I first was introduced to Wicca, I mean, it was like somebody had opened the door and come on in, you know. A lot of people go through their whole life not knowing, you know, what is meant for them. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to have a friend that actually brought me into the craft and said, you know, if this is what sounds good to you, then go with it. And I have ever since. You know, a lot of people don't have that opportunity. And, you know, we try to give that, you know, individual that open door. You know, they don't have to come in if they don't want to, but it's there if they want it. So, you know, I'm feel very fortunate that I had that opportunity.
Absolutely. Tinker has a good point. They say what you focus on, you draw in. And I have to agree with that. You know, that's like our saying, as within, so without. Because how you feel and see, your thoughts become your reality. And sometimes there's negative programming there. You know, you might be actually not even knowing that you're sending out to the universe that you're okay with struggle. You know, you're in that struggle mindset. And it's so hard to overcome that. I know I had to deal with that growing up, that you have to overcome it and know that you are worthy of doing good, that you are better than that. And you have to reprogram your mind. And then what you send out will come to you. You know, you have to accept that blessings are on their way and are going to be there at any time, that the heavens love you. And these things will materialize. So absolutely, Tinker, what you focus on, you do draw in. Absolutely.
Well said.
Juby G5 says they think they're psychic. How can they tell?
You know, psychic ability is part of humanity. It's a wonderful thing to have. It's a natural ability. I would encourage you to, you know, first of all, get some books. They have books on psychic development, because those will give you different tests to do and to test yourself. There are many ways to be psychic. There's clairvoyance, which means clear seeing. There's clairaudience, means clear hearing. There's clairgustant, meaning clear tasting. There's clairsentience, meaning clear feeling. And so don't limit yourself and say, well, I'm a visionary only, because you may also be a clairaudient. When I started out as a psychic, I was trained actually in the spiritualist church. And I would encourage you to see if there is a spiritualist church near you or a metaphysical church, because they a lot of times have classes to help you develop. And I think particularly when you're starting out with psychic development, it's good to have a teacher to walk you through the experiences as you're opening.
Now, not all of us are lucky enough to have one of those close by, though, Bob. And there are a lot of books out there that help you too, right, to hone your abilities.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of books. I would encourage you, you know, get anything Sylvia Brown writes is really good, because she teaches you exercises in every one of her books, how to tap into your psychic ability. One of her books is called The Other Side and Back. So I recommend that because she talks about her own journey as a psychic, and she gives you exercises to do in your daily life that will enhance your psychic ability.
Gab asks, and those are great suggestions, Bob. Gab asks, is it psychic power when you can sense a person nearby, even though you haven't seen them in ages, and then they appear, as that's happened to him a fair few times? Is that psychic power?
Yeah, that's precognition, we call that. It's like knowing ahead of time.
Now here's a good question for, I think, both Carol and Tony, but especially Carol in her herbalist field here. Mina Lori asks about dragon's blood, and its uses.
Dragon's blood can actually be used in a lot of applications. It's one of those types of herbs that has a broad spectrum. Depending on what you need it for, I'm actually drawn to the, you know, herbs and actual oils, because I mean, for me it does wonders. It just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing spell work, it works great as a booster for a lot of your spells. The actual herb itself is a very strong herb. If you know, work with writing, especially in your, you know, Book of Shadows, you can actually get just regular India ink. And I've done this several times. Take regular India ink, like, for example, the red one. And you can actually take the oil and put it in the ink and write a spell. Just a simple spell.
Or sigils.
Or sigil. And let that sit for a while, depending on what you're doing, and just let it work its magic. You don't have to do hardly anything. It's just one of those, you know, wonderful things we have. I've actually taken oil and used it in healing work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are afraid to use it, though, because it's so strong.
It adds oomph to whatever you add it to. It just adds a really powerful dose of energy to it. and power. And I find dragon's blood is very, very versatile. Just like Carol was saying, you could use it in healing magic. You can use it in protection and cleansing and love and money magic and so many things. But whatever you're working on, if you add a little bit of dragon's blood, whether it's incense, oil, the raw herb, grinding it up and using it as a powder, just however you use dragon's blood with whatever you're working with, it's going to add a very strong boost of energy to it.
Now, I will say this. Do not try to ingest it. It is not
Right.
herb you can ingest, because dragon's blood, it's one of those kind of herbs that you can use externally, but it is not for internal use.
Right.
So do not make that mistake and think, oh, well, it's going to, heal my cough. No, it won't.
Right.
Ooh.
So, on the herb aspect, please don't make that mistake. I recommend for anybody that wants to work with any type of herb, get yourself a book of herbs. Learn them before you try any kind of application like that. Now, magic work, you can use them all over the place. But if you're going to use them on the body or in the body, know what you're using, because some herbs are toxic.
Very toxic. Some are very toxic.
Some can
Like
actually
drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Matt Burns says he's going to Sedona, that it's supposed to be an energy vortex. Matt Burns, I'm from Arizona, and I could testify that when you drive through those beautiful, deep red rocks of Sedona, you feel that there's something there. It's mystic. It's very powerful, and I think there's aliens in those mountains. But Sedona is definitely an energy vortex, and you're going to love it. And I recommend gathering some of that red dirt too. Get a little jar, collect some of it, because it could have a multitude of magical purposes for you going forwards. Don't miss that chance. Oh, and that reminds me, earlier someone had asked about rain magic. Can we give them suggestions on rain magic?
Well, that's interesting because, I've been living the last month down at my mom's at the beach, taking care of her house while she was recovering from her hip surgery. And I love going out on the beach during a rainstorm. I feel like, especially at the seashore, rain enhances your magic. And it's like all that water energy of the sea coming in and the rain coming down. Ooh, some major power. Love it. It's very purifying. I feel like whenever I go walk on the beach during a rainstorm, it's very purifying for me. And you can also, if you have the fortune, you can collect that water as well. Lady Angela, you're a big collector of rainwater.
I'm crazy about rainwater, especially from a crazy thunderstorm. Rainwater is supercharged, very high vibrational water. It's wonderful in any kind of a spell use. You can cleanse your candles with it. You can use it as holy water. Something I have done several times when I'm in the mood and it's raining is I'll actually walk out and stare up into the sky with the rain coming down on me, and I'll speak to the gods and ask them to empower the rainwater so that every drop that should hit any person or living thing, that it would bring blessings and goodwill to them. And in that sense, I've just made the entire rainstorm holy water, and it's blessing any person that it hits, regardless if they know or not, just bringing blessings and healing, and in a sense, baptizing them, in good energies. So that's an idea too. But yeah, rainwater's awesome. How about you, Tony?
No. I don't really. I never work with rainwater. I never have. I usually avoid standing in the rain.
I love rain. I'm crazy about rain. Or afterwards, there's a lot of spells you can work that on the dew that gathers after a rainstorm on the grass, or even dew that gathers on the grass in the morning when you go out and how the grass is wet. That's another way of kind of like rain magic in a way, but it's that natural energy of the water, that you could grab. And seawater is a wonderful one to use as well.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the rain. It can come all at once, but if there's no lightning out there, I don't care to watch it.
I love it with lightning and thunder.
we just had 2 days of rain, and the first night it was a major lightning storm, and I sat on my front porch and just took it all in.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, why are you sitting out there? It's lightning everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. You know, I mean, just to sit there in the calm of the storm, so to speak, you know, it does re-energize you, you know. I mean, I'm not saying be stupid and run after, you know, lightning, no. But just to sit in a quiet, serene spot and just take all that in, it helps to re-energize and heal you, you know. So
I love it. You know, when I was a young girl, many times my family lived in trailer houses with tin roofs. And there was times when the storm would blow through. Anytime you're in a rainstorm and you have a tin roof and you hear the rain on your roof, I can sleep like a baby. I feel so safe and just happy and so serene. And it's funny, we're talking about rain and storms. I just heard some thunder rumbling in the sky behind me. So I'm really excited that I got a storm coming in, at least the thunder and lightning. So that's awesome.
yeah, my family home had a tin roof for many years, and I mean, we knew like way ahead of time when it was coming, and all the kids would get together and we just, you know, sit quiet. My mother would always be like, be quiet, be quiet. And we just sit there, and before you know it, we were all locked out.
Excuse me, guys, I have to interrupt you. So we've got a problem in the chat room. Geomix is trying to proselytize. Geomix, this is a Wiccan gathering. We're not here to have your religion brought in tonight. So if you're going to proselytize, you need to leave, please. Thank you. I'm sorry, Carol. Forgive me for interrupting.
Oh, it's fine.
Gab said that he had a really major thunderstorm while he was out on holiday, and he gathered, let's see, he says, we had a massive storm on holiday, electric everything. So he collected a rain in a bucket, bottled it, and brought it home. That's awesome. That's some good stuff there.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Yeah, you know, I can't wait till I go back to the beach and get in another storm.
Yep.
There's something about it that just energizes you. And when you're working with rainwater for magical spells or even making, you know, blessed water, you know, it does something to it that just gives everything a boost.
Lady Angela, didn't you have a tree in your yard that was struck by lightning? That's a very witchy thing. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Wood from a tree struck by lightning is very powerful. Kathy Private has a great point. She says that rainwater is a good way to cleanse your crystals. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I agree with it. You know.
Juby G5 says, I see a lot of things materialize out of the corner of my eye and then disappear when I look at them, such as a hand reaching out or a strange figure. Is this something looking for a message?
What you're experiencing is beings who dwell on the edge of the etheric. As I mentioned earlier, the etheric plane interspaces with our physical plane. And it's kind of the crossover point from spirit into the material world. So a lot of what you're experiencing it means that psychically you're opening. I suspect that probably happens when you're relaxing, like you're reading or watching TV or getting ready for bed. And that's because your psychic senses are more heightened at that time. Generally, there's nothing to be afraid of. These beings aren't going to hurt you. They're just people passing through. And, you know, but that's where that's coming from.
Absolutely. We've had some wonderful questions tonight, Bob. This has been pretty awesome.
I'm telling you, we got a lot of wonderful people here tonight. And, you know, we really enjoy you guys coming out. And, you know, I'm just so glad we're able to all be together. The last few weeks have been a little hectic for all of us. And, you know, we're glad just to all be back together.
Yep.
Their question?
Seeing Lost Scotsman, hi Lost Scotsman, we're glad you're here, says everywhere they go for the last 2 weeks, they keep seeing a black cat. Does that really have any meaning?
Well, it could be. You know, it depends on how you interpret a black cat. See, the thing is, when we have signs and omens and things like that, they're unique to the person. There's not really the one sign represents something all time for all. So, for example, I would say, what does the black cat mean to you? Is that a sign of blessing and protection? Like that could be a sign of you coming into your witchy power. It might be like a saying, like an acknowledgement to the universe that your craft is, you know, rising in power. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. What is Lionsgate? A couple people have been mentioning Lionsgate and asking you if you would speak on it. I have no clue what Lionsgate is.
I don't know what they're talking about.
It's supposed to be a portal that opens up every August 8th. And with it being on the 18th year, it's even stronger now. I don't know too much about it, but it's supposed to be something really good. So that's really about it.
I'll have to research that. That's new to me.
Oh, wow. Kat says that they're a cat lover and have had many black cats and is still alive. That's funny. I have the sense perhaps that person that asked that question, perhaps just a black cat is something you need. I just have a feeling I need to mention that perhaps it wants to be you're familiar with the spirit of a black cat. And if you got a black cat, it just might enhance your magic. Maybe it's time for you to consider that. Or if you already have a black cat, perhaps look at it, talk to it, feel it in a different way. Perhaps it's trying to connect to you in a certain way to spark your magic a bit stronger.
Well said, lady.
Oh boy, everybody's wanting us to do 2 hours. Where's the time gone, Bob?
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. Guys, I wish we all had the time for 2 hours. We're all on crunch schedules, all of us here. And so we are going to limit it to an hour. But I tell you, tonight has flown by. I feel like we just sat down, put on our witch hat. But I am so glad you guys are here. You know, yeah, I'm going to give a plug for myself. You know, for those of you who may know or maybe don't know, I'm a full-time professional psychic medium. And so if you are interested in getting on my schedule for a reading, below this video will be my contact information in the information box when this video finishes processing. And if you want to have a private reading with me, you can give me a call. I still have a few openings for this week, this upcoming week and into next week. And my phone number in my office is 571-483-2112, or you can write to me at readings@robert-hickman.com. Again, that email link will be below. And a private reading is you and me one-on-one for an hour. And we sit down, we cover everything, past, present, future issues, spirit guides. We look at your life mission, what your themes are. We look at your karmic destinies. We answer all your questions. I connect you with those from the spirit who come through that may bring messages to these loved ones and friends. So I cover a lot of stuff in the hour. And I would encourage you, if you've been wanting to do some spiritual growth, an hour private reading, I think, could be very helpful for you. So think about that. And, each of us here have expertise and different ways to reach out. Lady Angela, why don't you tell me a little bit about your work and what you have?
Well, I have a website called rarewiccaspells.com. I deal in witchy goods, from necklaces, talismans, ritual tools like your daggers, your athames, your chalices. Also, if you're looking for a ritual, I have rituals there, spell pages. I could make you a book of shadows. I have regular books that teach on different things, from dreams, how to interpret your dreams, herbalism, shamanism. I got oracle cards, tarot cards, altar cloths. I have so much there. And anything you purchase from me, be sure to use the coupon code Spirit Channel, and you'll save 10% on your order. And I got to tell you, if you haven't gotten a reading from Psychic Bob, you need to really do it. They're fascinating. It's amazing and so illuminating. And like he said, he covers so much stuff. He'll tell you about your aura and your aura colors and what he sees there. He'll tell you about your life theme in this lifetime and what your purpose is. He'll tell you about your past lives. He'll tell, and any spirit people from this life. I remember spirit people from my past life stepped forward. And Bob described them to me, gave me their message. There's so much he covers. And also, he could customize the reading for you if you're looking more into this past lives, or you're looking more into a employment-based one and things like that. Bob can meet your needs, and they are amazing. His readings are a whole hour, and they're just epic. They're really awesome. And the only thing you'll regret is not getting one sooner.
God bless you, Angela. And, you know, we got Lord Tony, who is our miracle healer over here. Lord Tony, why don't you talk about your healing?
You can find, just Google Lightbringer's Angel. It's much easier than me trying to give you the whole long web address. I'm easier to find that way. But basically what I do is I work with the angels' energies and help unblock your energy system. I can give you energy boosters. I can give you protection shields. I have no idea what I don't have a limit to yet. So it's give me a shot. You know, I work by donations. So if you like what I do, feel free to donate. It doesn't really matter. You can find my link below in the description. Should be there still, I hope.
Yep, it's there. It's there.
And I encourage you guys, definitely. The only reason we have this show going is because of Lord Tony. His healing work gave me strength to be here. So you need to contact him. Lady Carol, why don't you tell us what you're working on?
Well, I'm planning on starting up a website soon. Right now, I'm still doing a lot of unpacking and working with computer issues right now. But hopefully by the time we get to next witching hour, you have a website up. I do customize wines. Lady Angela actually has one of my wines that she fell in love with when I sent it to her and said it's not going anywhere.
Right. It's actually, I keep it right when you walk in my house. So there's my TV and I have like a little altar. That's where it sits, right there. It's handy, it's useful, and Carol does amazing work. And we really look forward to seeing your craftsmanship and goods available for the public and having a store. We're really pumped to see that, Carol. And we're here to help you too, to build that and grow that and make that happen for you.
Yeah. So just be on the lookout.
Here she comes.
Look out, Lady Carol is building power.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I tell you, I don't know where the hour goes, but listen, thank you for being here. You guys are the best. I love all of you. And listen, you know, tomorrow, make sure to be here at Spirit Channel, because you know what Monday is? Horoscopes.
Horoscopes!
So, and if you're new here and you haven't seen it, every Monday I cover all the major transits for the week as well as individual horoscopes for each zodiac, all in one video, so you'll get it all in one snapshot. So I hope you'll be here. Tune in. We'll have that tomorrow. And guys, thank you for being here. I love you guys. I'll let everybody say goodnight real quick.
Good night, everyone. We really love this show, and we thank everybody for participating and for watching and supporting us. You know, like our videos, share our videos with your friends, and be a part of Spirit Channel because it's awesome, and we love y'all.
Lord Tony.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Feel free to check out my website and chat with me if you want to.
Because Tony's awesome.
Yeah, I'm awesome.
Yeah. Lady Carol.
Thank you guys for welcoming me back, and I am just so thrilled with all your prayers, blessings, and just being part of this family. I don't look at Spirit Channel any other way. You guys are my family.
God bless you. Thank you. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. So from our hearts to yours, we send you our love and our blessings. And remember, keep the goddess in your heart, and you'll find joy on the journey. You guys are the best. We love you. We'll see you back here next week for another witching hour.
Blessed be all.
Good night. Blessed be.
Good night, everybody.